The next common assessment we're going to look at is the teacher candidate assessment, the final evaluation that you'll be completing during the student teaching or internship experience. This form, as you note, may be used for midterm or for final or both. Much of the decision making of when this form will be used will be based in the programs. So for specific information about when and exactly how to document each aspect of this assessment, you'll need to check with your university supervisor or university facilitator to make certain that you are meeting the particular needs for the program that your student teacher or intern teacher candidate is in. This form covers the InTask principles, the InTask standards, and also references the ISTE standards, which are the technology standards that you may have seen before. In each one of these cases, the InTask principle is listed with some sub areas to help better explain all aspects of the InTask standard. And you're going to be asked to rate your teacher candidate from 1 to 4, 4 being exceeds expectation, 3 meets expectation, 2 approaching expectations, 1 does not meet expectation, and NA means that it's not applicable or has not been evaluated. So what you will do is over the course of the term begin thinking about how can I assess my teacher candidate's ability to understand how learners grow and develop, recognizing that patterns of learning and development vary individually, and whether or not they can design and implement developmentally appropriate and challenging learning experiences that include the use of technology. Specifically, we'll be looking at how well they assess individual and group performance, create developmentally appropriate instruction, and collaborate with families, communities, colleagues, and other professionals. So you would give a rating score for each one of these and then have an opportunity to write comments. The comments might be some examples of how your student teacher, the teacher candidate, has been effective in these areas. You might note a specific lesson, you might note some general comments. Again, each of the programs may have a little bit different directions for the kinds of comments and that you would have and how you would add those here, or whether or not you would attach possibly some additional documentation. The InTask standards are learner development and learner differences, and learning environments, content knowledge. We'll come back to content knowledge and content application in a minute. Assessment, planning for instruction, instructional strategies, professional learning and ethical practice, and leadership and collaboration. Now we know that in many placements or in many programs, not all of these are going to be observed, especially if this form is used both at the midterm and as the final evaluation. Again, you'll be guided by your university facilitator or university supervisor in the completion of this form. I said we would come back to content knowledge here. So content application and content knowledge are areas that each of the programs will, moving forward, have some additional assessments for us to complete or to be added into this document. For instance, if your teacher candidate is in the area of social studies, then the National Council for Social Studies is the SPA, or the special professional organization that helps set the standards in that particular area. Those standards, the NCSS standards, will be used in addition to these more general content knowledge and application standards. This form is new for us at Mason, as it is new for you. This is the first semester that we will be using this. It's been piloted. So as we move forward, we may be asking for your input in how we can better complete this form, provide documentation, and make certain that we are using it in a way that it can serve as a valid assessment for not only these specific in-task standards, but for their general overall teaching ability.